The grand hall was silent, cold, filled with eyes. Captain Raynor stood tall, dressed in his black human uniform. Behind him, a wall of flags waved slowly, symbols of Earth and peace. Before him, the alien leaders sat on golden thrones, their long necks stretched with pride. They were tall, bone-thin, with skin like old marble and eyes that held no mercy. This was not a friendly meeting. It was politics. A fragile peace between the United Human Federation and the Zalath Empire. Raynor came to sign a peace treaty. Nothing more. But the aliens had other plans. With a wave of the hand, one of the alien guards stepped forward. In his hand was a chain, and at the end of that chain, a girl, an alien girl. She was small, bird-like, with feathers instead of hair, and glowing silver eyes. Her arms were tied, her legs bruised. She looked down, afraid to meet any eyes. But her body trembled. The alien emperor rose slowly from his throne. "We offer you a gift. Human," he said, his voice deep and cold. "A rare treasure from a dying species. She is trained, obedient, loyal." A small gasp came from one of the humans behind Raynor. But Raynor said nothing. "She is yours," the emperor continued. "A symbol of our respect. A servant to remind you of our kindness." The alien girl was pushed forward, stumbling until she landed at Raynor's feet. She didn't cry. She didn't speak. She just waited. Like a machine. Everyone watched him. The alien leaders expected a smile, gratitude. But Captain Raynor didn't move. He stared at the girl, then looked around the hall. Something twisted inside him. Something old. Something human. Slavery, he remembered. Earth's past chains, whips, children sold in markets. That shame, that pain. That history humans swore never to repeat. And now, this. Raynor clenched his fists. Slowly, he knelt down beside the girl. Her glowing eyes looked up for just a second, scared, empty. "What's your name?" he asked softly. She didn't answer. "She does not speak," one alien said. "We removed her voice long ago." Raynor's eyes narrowed. He touched the chain gently. It was cold, heavy then. Without a word, he stood, reached into his belt, and pulled out a small tool, his utility cutter. In one sharp motion click, he cut the chain. A loud clang echoed as the chain hit the floor. Everyone froze. The guards grabbed their weapons. The alien emperor's eyes widened. Raynor turned to face the room. "I don't accept slaves," he said firmly. "Not on Earth, not in space, not ever." The silence was deep. Like the air had been punched. "She is a gift." One of the aliens shouted, "You insult our kindness." Raynor didn't flinch. "You insult my species by offering a person in chains." The alien emperor stepped forward, his long cloak dragging behind him. "She is nothing. A tool, a forgotten race. We saved her from death." Raynor looked down at the girl again. She was still kneeling, her hands shaking. "Then I'll save her again," he said. He reached out and gently touched her shoulder. "You're free," he said softly. "You don't belong to anyone anymore." For a moment, the girl didn't move. She didn't even breathe. Then, slowly, she raised her head. Her eyes met his dot, and for the first time in her life, she saw something she had never seen before: kindness. The alien guards stepped forward. "Return the slave or this treaty ends." Raynor stood between them and the girl. Then the treaty ends. Weapons powered up. Sparks hummed. Humans and aliens stood at the edge of war. Then silence. The emperor raised a long finger. "Wait," he said. "Let him keep her." The guards lowered their weapons, confused. "She will be trouble," one whispered. "Exactly," the emperor smiled. "Let the human carry the burden. Let us see what his morals bring him." Raynor didn't hear that last part. He was already walking away, the girl following behind him, no chains. No orders, just freedom. Carrie sat on the edge of the soft bed, staring at the smooth walls around her. Lights blinked gently. The floor didn't hurt her feet. No chains, no collars. No guards watching. It felt like a dream. Or a trap. Captain Raynor stood by the door, arms crossed, watching her carefully knot. With anger, but with quiet concern. His voice was calm when he spoke. You can lie down if you want, or sleep. No one will hurt you here. Kari didn't move. Her hands were tight in her lap. Her wings, small and folded, twitched slightly. She looked at him, her glowing silver eyes unsure. He gave a small smile. You're not a prisoner anymore. Still, she said nothing. She couldn't. Her voice had been taken long ago, cut out like trash. Words were dangerous where she came from. Slaves didn't speak. They obeyed. Raynor sighed and stepped out, letting the door hiss shut behind him. Kari waited 5 minutes, 10. No one came. No one shouted. Slowly, with shaking hands, she touched the pillow, soft, then the blanket. Warm, she curled into a corner of the bed, pulling the blanket around her small body like armor. For the first time in years, her eyes closed without fear. She slept the next day. The Starship Horizon flame moved through deep space. Raynor sat at the table in the ship's mess hall, drinking bitter coffee and staring at the file in front of him. Her name is Kari, said Dr. Lin, the ship's medic. Age unknown. DNA struck ancient. Possibly the last of her kind. Raynor frowned. Why would they give her to me? Lin shrugged. Maybe as a test, maybe as a joke. Maybe they thought you'd use her. Raynor shook his head. I won't be like them. A voice cut in from the corner. Then what will you be, Captain? Her savior? Her father? Her god? It was Commander Voss, second in command. Older, colder. He didn't like aliens, especially ones from enemy empires. She's not our problem, Voss continued. She's dangerous, broken. She doesn't belong here. Raynor stood. She belongs where she's safe. Voss narrowed his eyes. She's still watching you like you're the enemy. Raynor didn't respond. He walked out. He found Kari in the ship's garden room, small trees, fake sunlight, gentle air. She stood near a flower, touching the petals with wonder. When she heard him, she froze. He raised both hands slowly. It's okay, just me. Kari stepped back. Raynor reached into his coat and took out a tablet. He pressed a button. A soft female voice spoke. Hello, my name is Kari. He handed it to her. Kari blinked. Raynor smiled gently. You can speak with this. Tap the words you want to say. She looked down at the tablet. Her thin fingers hovered over it, unsure. Finally, she tapped one. Why? Raynor's smile faded. He sat on a bench, thinking carefully. Why did I free you? She nodded. He looked up at the light above. 'Cause we were like you once. Long ago, humans were in chains too. We fought. We broke those chains. Now, we swore we'd never let it happen again. She tapped again. Am I still a slave? Raynor met her eyes. No, not anymore. Then, what am I? The question made him pause, not just because it was deep, but because he didn't have an answer. A person, he finally said. Just a person. Kari stared at him. Then she sat beside him, cautious, but close. For a moment, they didn't speak. Then, quietly, Kari tapped one more word. Thank you. In the shadows of the ship, deep in the lower decks, someone watched them through a security feed. Commander Voss stood with a cold look in his eyes. She's adapting too fast. He whispered. Beside him, a message screen blinked. An incoming transmission. Hidden from the captain, the alien language flickered across it. Human captain has broken agreement. Prepare for retaliation. Voss stared at the screen. Then he pressed send. Kari sat at the round table in the ship's mess hall, holding a fork in her hand like it was a weapon. Food steamed on the plate in front of her soft bread. Green vegetables, warm soup. She didn't touch it. She didn't know how. Around her, the human crew ate casually, laughed, talked like nothing was strange. But they kept glancing at her, quiet, curious. Captain Raynor sat across from her, calm as always. "You can eat," he said. "No one will stop you. No one will punish you." Kari looked down at the food. Her hands shook slightly. Her body was used to hunger, to waiting for permission, to being the last to eat if at all. Slowly, she raised the fork. Bit by bit, she brought it to her mouth. The soup was warm, strange, salty. She blinked in surprise. Raynor smiled. "That's called chicken soup. Good, right?" She nodded slowly. Then, without warning, Kari began to eat faster. Not like a human, like a creature starving. Raynor didn't stop her. He just watched. Later that day, Kari walked through the ship's halls with Dr. Lin. Her head turned constantly. The walls were smooth. No sharp edges. No shock panels. No cages. Lin gave her a tour, pointing to doors and signs. "This is the med bay. Over there is the training room. You'll get a uniform soon. Maybe blue? I think it suits you." Kari tapped her communicator pad. "What is a uniform?" "It's what crew members wear," Lin replied. "Each color means something. Red is command, yellow is engineering, blue is medical." "What color am I?" Lin smiled. "You're whatever color you want to be." Kari didn't understand that answer. She never had a choice before. Back in her room, Kari stood in front of the mirror. She touched her face, then her arms, then the feathers on her head. Who was she now? Not a slave, not a soldier, not a tool. A person. She didn't know what that meant. The door chimed. "Come in," she said. Out loud, it was the first time she had spoken in years. Raynor stepped in, surprised. "You spoke." Kari looked at him. "You gave me voice again." Raynor looked proud, but also tired. "You always had it. Just needed to find it." He stepped forward and handed her a small box. Inside was a bracelet. Simple, silver, engraved. With her name, Kari. She held it gently, like it was made of stars. "What is it?" she asked. "A reminder," Raynor said, "that you're free, and you belong here if you choose to." But not everyone agreed. In the engine room, 2 crew members whispered behind closed doors. "She's alien. She was a slave for a reason." Captains. Losing his mind, treating her like a princess. "What if she turns on us?" Commander Voss entered, arms behind his back. "She won't turn," he said coldly, "because she won't get the chance." They looked at him. He leaned in. "Orders will come soon. When they do, we take her." Meanwhile, Kari was learning. Raynor taught her Earth history books, battles, art, peace. She asked questions. Why did humans fight each other? Why did they stop? What is freedom? Raynor answered with stories, some dark, some bright. Kari listened like a student. Shh, she laughed once. Just once, but it lit the room. One night, she asked something strange. "Do I have a future?" Raynor paused. "Yes, you have more future than most." Then she asked something harder. "If I'm free, can I leave?" Raynor looked away. "Yes. But I hope you don't." That same night, alarms echoed through the ship. "Unidentified ship approaching," the AI voice said. Raynor rushed to the bridge. Kari followed. On the screen, a black warship appeared, sharp, silent, marked with the Zalith Empire symbol. Rayner's fists clenched. "No weapons," he ordered. "Hold position." A message came through. It was in alien code. Voss stood near the console. "It's for you, Captain." Rayner opened it. One line. "Return the girl, or we will take her by force." Kari stepped back, heart racing. "They've found me," she whispered. Rayner looked at her. "No," he said. "Oh, they found us." Asterisk, the alien warship drifted silently outside the human vessel like a predator in the dark. Black metal. No windows. No lights, just a shadow in space. On the bridge of the horizon flame. Tension filled the air. Captain Rayner stood tall, staring at the screen. Behind him, his officers worked in silence. Red lights flashed. Shields were up. Weapons ready but. Cold Kari stood in the corner, her hands tight, her eyes locked on the enemy ship. "I know that symbol," she whispered. "It's the Emperor's personal ship." Rayner didn't look away. "So they sent someone important." Commander Voss stepped forward, face calm, but voice sharp. "They want her." That's what the message said. "Return the girl, or they attack." Rayner turned his head. "We're not handing her over." "She's one alien, Captain," Voss snapped. "You're risking everyone's life for her." Rayner's voice dropped low. "I'm protecting a person, a crew member. We don't trade people like cargo." Voss said nothing, but his jaw tightened. He turned away and tapped something on his wrist. In the engineering bay, 2 crew members received the silent ping. A message flashed on their screens. "Prepare to move the target." Quietly. They nodded without speaking. Back on the bridge, the alien warship sent a second message. This time, it played out loud in a rough, metallic voice. "You have 1 hour. Return the stolen slave, or be destroyed." Kari winced at the word slave. Rayner's fists clenched. "Tell them she's not a slave. She's free. And she's under our protection." No reply came. Kari stepped closer. "Captain, they won't listen. I know them. They don't bluff." Rayner looked at her. "Neither do I." Kari walked alone through the ship's garden room an hour later. She didn't feel safe anymore. The trees, the light, the quiet. They were just walls, thin ones. Outside, death waited. She stopped at the small pond, staring at her reflection. Her silver eyes shimmered. "What am I doing here?" She whispered to herself. "Why did he save me?" Then she heard footsteps, slow, careful. She turned. Dan saw 2 crew members. They didn't smile. They didn't speak. They stepped toward her. She stepped back. "Come with us," one of them said flatly. "Why?" she asked. No questions. Orders. Kari's heart raced. She glanced at the door. Trapped. They moved in but, before they could grab her, the lights flickered. Then the door hissed open. Rayner walked in. His voice cut like a blade. "Step away from her." The crew members froze. Commander Voss told us Rayner raised a small device and played a recording. Voss's voice echoed. "Take the girl before the captain finds out. We'll give her to the Zalith quietly." The crew members looked shocked. Too late. Rayner tapped his wrist. "Security, arrest them." 2 guards entered and took them away. KAR. I was shaking. Rayner came closer. "I'm sorry. Should have seen this coming." "You trusted him?" she whispered. "I made a mistake." Minutes later, in the brig, Commander Voss sat behind the force field, silent and cold. Rayner stood outside. "You sold out your own ship," Rayner said. "I protected it," Voss replied. "You let a slave control your heart." "She is not a slave. She's a person. Something you forgot how to be." Voss leaned forward. "They're going to kill us. All of us." "For her?" Rayner looked him in the eyes. "Then we die, doing the right thing." He turned and walked away. Back on the bridge, the 1-hour timer hit 0. The alien ship powered its weapons. Kaari stood beside Raynor. "I should go," she said softly. "You saved me. I don't want to cost you everything." Rena didn't answer at first. Then he turned to her. "You once asked what freedom means," he said. "It means you get to choose." Carrie's eyes filled with tears. "I choose to stay," she whispered. The alien ship fired. 2 shots streaked across space, fast, deadly. But the horizon flame moved like fire. Raynor shouted commands, evasive, counter shields up. "Return fire, Leon Lies." The human ship shook, but survived. A quick volley from their side hit the alien ship's weapon, ports just enough to disable, not destroy. Then the enemy ship powered down. It went silent. Raynor leaned back. They didn't expect a fight. Oh. "They know we won't back down." Kari looked at him, a soft smile breaking through her fear. "You fought for me?" Raynor nodded. "No, I fought with you." The stars outside the ship burned quietly. Unaware of the storm rising inside one small girl, Kari lay in the medbay. Her eyes closed, skin pale, breathing shallow. She had collapsed moments after the battle ended. No wounds. No injuries. Just something inside her had broken open. Raynor stood over her bed, fists clenched. What's happening to her? Dr. Lin looked at the scan results with confusion. Her body, it's changing. Fast. Raina stepped closer. Changing how? Len pointed to the hologram above Kari's chest. A strange light glowed. Inside her, like a pulse but not blood, not energy. Something else, her cells are waking up, Lin said. Like they were asleep for years, her DNA is rewriting itself. Raynor's eyes narrowed. Is it a weapon? Lin shook her head. I don't know what it is, but it's old. Very old. In Kari's mind, she wasn't on the ship anymore. She was floating in darkness. Alone then. Voice not hers. Not human. Old, soft, deep. You are the last. Kari turned in the darkness. Who's there? The final spark of the Illyrian race. Hidden, hunted, forgotten. Until now, Kari trembled. I don't understand. You were never meant to be a slave. You were meant to be a bridge between stars. Then the darkness melted and Kari saw flashes. A world full of light. Creatures with wings of gold towers that reached the sky, then fire, screams, John chains. They feared what you were, so they erased you. But your blood remembers. Kari gasped and opened her eyes. Raynor rushed to her side. Kari. She sat up, sweating, shaking, but her eyes glowed, brighter than ever. I saw them, she whispered. My people, my past. Raynor leaned in. What do you mean? Kari looked at her hands. I'm not just a slave. I'm the last Illyrian. Lin stepped forward, eyes wide. Illyrian. That's a myth, a race that vanished 10,000 years ago. Kari nodded slowly. We weren't soldiers. We were guardians, peacekeepers. We held balance till the warlords came. Raynor frowned. Why did they enslave you? Kari's voice cracked. Because our bodies, our blood, connects to the stargates. Raynor blinked. The ancient network. Lin's voice shook. There are billions of gates. All dead, all locked. Kari looked at them. My blood is the key. In the control room, hidden deep in the alien warship outside, a message was sent. The Illyrian is awakening. Alert the Emperor. She must be captured alive. Back on the horizon flame, Raynor paced the bridge. If her blood connects to the gates, he said, then that's what they really want. Not her. What's inside her? Commander Voss, still locked in the brig, laughed when he heard the news. I told you she was dangerous, he said to the guard. You think this is about kindness? They gave her to us on purpose. The guard frowned. Why? Was leaned forward. Because they knew her powers would wake up, and they wanted it to happen on our ship. Kari stood alone in the garden room, breathing the fake air slowly. Her fingers glowed faintly now. She touched. The metal wall it hummed under her touch responded. She could feel the circuits. The engine? The pulse of the ship. I'm changing, she whispered. But into what? Raynor walked in quietly. You're becoming who you were always meant to be. Kari looked at him. Then why am I so afraid? He stood beside her, because freedom is scary. Power is scarier. She looked up. Do you still trust me? Raynor didn't hesitate. Always. Suddenly, alarms blared. Captain to the bridge. Unknown energy spike. Raynor and Kari rushed in. On the screen a Stargate, huge, broken, floating dead in space. Until now, lights began to blink along its outer rings. The gate was waking up. Kari stepped forward, her hands glowing. It's calling me, she whispered. Raynor stared at her. Can you control it? Kari nodded slowly. I think I can open it. Lynn stepped forward. What's on the other side? Kari closed her eyes. I don't know. But someone or something is waiting. Asterisk, the Stargate loomed outside. The ship, floating like a ghost in deep space. It was ancient, older than human memory. Older than the war. Older than even the Zalath Empire. A ring of dark stone and glowing metal, cracked and lifeless. Until now, the rings were turning. Lights were waking, and all of it was because of Kaari dot inside the horizon flame. The bridge was tense. Raynor stood at the front, watching the gate spin slowly on the screen. Kari stood beside him, her hands faintly glowing, her silver eyes locked on the ancient structure. She's calling it, whispered Dr. Lin. Or maybe it's calling her. Kari didn't respond. She couldn't in her head, a voice was rising again. A voice made of wind and memory. Daughter of Valeria, the last spark. We see you. Her knees shook, she reached for the console. Placed her palm on the cold metal and every screen on the ship changed. Symbols danced across them, alien and beautiful. Shapes that no human computer could read, but Kari could. Raynor stepped back. What's happening? Kari spoke softly, but her voice echoed as if carried by something else. They were waiting for me. 1,000 voices. Buried in the gate. Sleeping. Watching. The ship's lights flickered, and then the gate opened. A beam of soft light pulsed from the center, stretching out into the stars. A doorway. Raynor made a fast decision. Prep a shuttle. I'm going in with her. Dr. Lin looked concerned. Captain, we don't know what's inside. We'll never know unless we step through. Kari turned to him. You don't have to come. Raynor smiled. You freed me too, Kari. I just didn't realize it until now. The shuttle passed through the glowing light like it was mist. No pull, no pain. Just a moment of stillness, then everything changed. Inside the gate, the stars vanished. They were flying through something else. A tunnel made of light and memory. Shapes passed them, images like dreams. Kari saw them first. Tall, winged beings. Peaceful cities floating in the sky. Children laughing, then dash fire, warships, chains. Her people falling. We remember, the voice said. We wait for your choice. Kari whispered, they're showing me everything. My past, my purpose. Raynor watched her. What is your purpose? Her hand tightened around the armrest. I was made to protect life, to keep balance, but they feared us. So they destroyed us. Raynor's voice was calm. Then maybe now, you get to choose your own purpose. The tunnel ended suddenly. the shuttle emerged into a dark space. A chamber so big it looked like another galaxy, and floating at the center, an orb glowing alive. Kari gasp. That's the Alarian core. Our last memory. The soul of my people. Rainers. Hand moved to his sidearm. Is it safe? Kari shook her head. It's not a weapon. It's a voice. A message. The orb pulsed and light wrapped around Kari. Rainer reached for Herb, stopped when he heard it too. A voice. Not loud, not angry, just old. She has come. The last flame. We offer her choice. Kari floated above the shuttle now, her eyes closed. The light entered her chest gently, not forcing, not taking, just sharing. You may use our gift. To heal, to destroy, to open, to end. Rainer shouted, Kari, you okay? She opened her eyes. They were glowing like stars. I'm fine, she said. But now I see everything. Back on the horizon flame. Alarms screamed. The Zalath warship was moving again, faster, louder, and this time it wasn't alone. 3. More ships dropped out of hyperspace, ready for war. Voss, still in the brig, grinned. Told you. They wouldn't stop. Inside the chamber, Kari landed softly back in the shuttle. Rainer rushed to her. What did they give you? She looked at him. A choice, she said. I can destroy the warships, or I can open the gates for peace. Rainer studied her face. What do you want to do? Kari was quiet for a long time. Then she said, I want to show them something they've never seen. What's that? She looked toward the warships far behind them. Mercy? They returned through the gate as they exited. Kari raised her hands, and the gate pulsed. The energy washed across space like a wave. The Zalath warships, froze. Engines shut down. Weapons powered off. A voice echoed across all channels. Kari's voice. I am Kari of Alaria. You gave me chains. I give you peace. Then silence. The warships retreated. No fight, no blood, just fear and awe. The stars were quiet. After the wave of light passed through space, everything fell still. The Zalath warships, once proud and loud, floated in silence, engines off, weapons down. Crews stunned. They had seen something they could not explain. Not a weapon, not destruction, but mercy, and mercy was terrifying. Inside the horizon flame, the bridge crew stared at Kari as if they had never seen her before. She stood tall, calm, glowing faintly with the ancient energy of the Alarian core. Her presence filled the room, not loud, not commanding, but undeniable. Rainer watched her from his seat. He had seen soldiers, monsters, kings, but never someone like her. Kari, he said softly. What now? She looked at him with a steady gaze. We offer them peace. A few hours later, a message came from the Zalath command ship. The Emperor himself appeared on the screen. Cold, pale, proud. His voice was strained. You should have destroyed us when you had the chance. Kari stepped forward. I didn't come to rule or kill, she said. I came to remind you what you forgot. The Emperor narrowed his eyes. And what is that? She looked at him without fear. That life is not something to own. There was a long silence. Then, without another word, the Emperor ended the transmission. Later. A small ship arrived from the Zalath fleet. It carried a written agreement. A ceasefire, a promise, slavery abolished. Across their empire, effective immediately. Not everyone believed it would last. Some humans thought it was a trick. Some aliens were angry they had to change. But no one dared challenge. Kari. Not anymore. Kari stood on the deck of the horizon flame. As it moved slowly toward Earth, she looked out at the stars not with fear, but with quiet strength. Rainer walked up beside her. You changed the course of history. he said. She smiled softly. I didn't do it alone, he chuckled. Still, the galaxy's going to talk about this for a long time. Kari looked at him, then let them talk. A week later, Earth welcomed them home. For the first time in history, humans cheered. The arrival of an alienaut as a guest, not as an enemy, but as a hero. Kari stepped off the ship, barefoot, her head held high. Journalists shouted questions. Children held signs. Soldiers saluted her. But Kari only bowed her head once, to the crowd, and walked forward. She didn't want to be a queen. She only wanted to be free. At the United Human Assembly, Kari stood. Before the council, they offered her medals, titles. Power, she declined them all. I do not want to lead your people, she said, but I will stand with them. And so, the assembly made a decision. Kari would become humanity's first interstellar peace envoy. She would speak for Earth and for any species that had no voice. Back on the horizon flame. Now docked in orbit, Raynor sat in his quarters. Reading the new reports, new gates were opening, old ruins responding to Kari's presence. The galaxy was stirring. But so were the enemies hiding in the shadows. Not everyone welcomed peace. Not everyone accepted change. Kari entered the room quietly. Raynor looked up. You ready for what's next? She nodded. More than ever. He stood. There will be more wars, Kari. More empires. You scared them? That doesn't mean they'll stop. Kari smiled gently. I don't expect them to stop, she said. I expect them to see. And if they don't, I'll remind them. Raynor looked at her. This strange, powerful being who once had no name, no voice, no freedom. Now she had all three on, a galaxy that would never forget her. EPI UN, a distant part of space. A group of alien warlords met in secret. She opened the gates, one said. That cannot be allowed. She is only one, said another. We are many. A third voice, colder, darker. Then we shall see how far her mercy truly reaches. Shadow moved, and the stars blinked.